Yes, so we are now streaming in YouTube, but we will start in 4 minutes to let everybody's coming in, but we are streaming on YouTube already, so welcome and all the best and good luck. I'm off from now from the video first because we will share the welcoming videos later.
Tahukah Anda apa itu Alzheimer? Alzheimer adalah gangguan penurunan fungsi otak yang mempengaruhi daya ingat, emosi, perilaku, dan fungsi otak lainnya. 1 dari 10 orang yang berusia di atas 65 tahun mengidap Alzheimer. Setiap 3 detik, ada 1 orang terdiagnosa Alzheimer di dunia. Alzheimer belum bisa disembuhkan. Obat yang ada hanya untuk memperlambat progresivitas dan mengatasi gejala Alzheimer. Kurangilah risiko terkena Alzheimer, kenali 10 gejala umum penyakit Alzheimer. Gangguan daya ingat.
Pak, anak-anak nanti jadi pulang kan?
Jadi,
Pak, anak-anak jadi pulang kan ya?
kok tanya lagi? Kan barusan sudah dijawab, Bu.
Sering lupa akan kejadian yang baru saja terjadi, menceritakan dan menanyakan hal yang sama berulang-ulang, lupa akan satu hal dalam frekuensi yang terlalu sering. Sulit fokus.
Halo? Halo? Ini telepon udah rusak mungkin ya. Kok nggak bisa dipakai?
Melakukan hal yang biasa dan sederhana menjadi lebih susah dan perlu waktu lama. Sulit melakukan kegiatan sehari-hari.
Dari tadi nulis perencanaan keuangannya, kok nggak selesai-selesai, Bu?
Seringkali sulit untuk merencanakan atau menyelesaikan tugas sehari-hari. Bingung cara mengatur keuangan, bahkan bingung cara mengemudi. Disorientasi waktu.
Anterin ibu yuk,
Mau kemana jam 10 malam begini, Bu?
ke pasar.
Disorientasi tempat. Bingung akan waktu di mana mereka berada dan tidak tahu jalan pulang. Susah memahami visual spasial.
Ayo Pak, pulang.
Ini cara keluarnya gimana ya? Bu, kok tumpah-tumpah dibiarkan?
Hah? Tumpah? Apanya?
Kesulitan memahami visual spasial dapat kita lihat dari kesulitan mengukur jarak, membedakan warna, tidak mengenali wajah sendiri di cermin, menabrak cermin atau pintu kaca ketika berjalan, serta kesulitan mencari jalan keluar yang sebelumnya dilalui. gangguan berkomunikasi.
Pak, tolong ambilin itu, itu loh, jam dinding ibu di...
Maksud ibu, jam tangan.
Iya, jam tangan.
Gangguan berkomunikasi dapat kita lihat dari kesulitan berbicara dan mencari kata yang tepat di dalam sebuah percakapan, serta bingung untuk melanjutkannya. Menaruh barang tidak pada tempatnya.
Pasti kamu ya Udin yang ambil dompet.
Tidak, Nyonya. Sumpah.
Menyimpan barang tidak pada tempatnya, bahkan kadang curiga ada yang mencuri atau menyembunyikan barang tersebut, sehingga berdampak terhadap orang-orang di sekitarnya. Salah membuat keputusan.
Ini Mas, uangnya.
Loh, kebanyakan, Bu. Belanjaan ibu cuma 20.000 aja.
Salah membuat keputusan meliputi bingung menentukan suatu hal, susah menghitung, berpakaian tidak serasi atau terbalik, dan lain sebagainya. Menarik diri dari pergaulan.
Ibu kok di sini sih? Nggak ikut kumpul bareng aja di luar?
Ah, nggak apa-apa Pak. Enakan di sini. Nggak usah, di sini aja.
Menarik diri dari pergaulan dengan atau tanpa alasan yang jelas, tidak memiliki inisiatif untuk melakukan aktivitas yang biasa dinikmati, cenderung diam saja dengan mata menerawang. Perubahan perilaku dan kepribadian.
Masakan ibu agak asin ya?
Ah, gitu ya. Dulu aja bilangnya enak, sekarang bilangnya asin. Bapak udah gak cinta lagi ya sama ibu. Serba salah semuanya.
Orang berubah menjadi lebih sensitif, mudah tersinggung. Hal kecil dapat memicu kemarahan yang meledak-ledak yang berlebihan. Iritabilitas, depresi, mudah kecewa, dan putus asa. Apabila Anda melihat adanya 10 gejala Alzheimer ini, tindakan selanjutnya adalah memeriksakan ke dokter, meminta untuk diberikan deteksi dini serta pemeriksaan lebih lanjut, bergabung dengan komunitas peduli Alzheimer di lingkungan Anda. Tindakan mengurangi risiko terkena Alzheimer diantaranya adalah melakukan olahraga teratur, menerapkan pola makan yang sehat, mengkonsumsi gizi seimbang, melatih otak secara berkala, berpikiran positif, dan beraktivitas produktif. Hubungi Alzheimer Indonesia jika salah satu keluarga atau di lingkungan terdekat Anda ada yang mengalami ciri-ciri dari 10 gejala demensia Alzheimer. Jangan maklum dengan pikun. Lupa, kehilangan daya ingat bukanlah bagian normal dari penuaan.
Hi everyone, welcome to the 34th AlziNet online session in collaboration with the Embassy of Republic Indonesia for the Netherlands. I'm Tania Marinistiadi, I'm the moderator for today's session with the topic of social support in healthy aging. So as the worldwide population is aging, it is such a great interest to hear more about healthy aging, especially aging from a social perspective. So we have now 3 speakers from 3 different countries, Mexico, Ethiopia, and Indonesia, all of whom are going to talk about healthy aging, social health, and last but not least, how to seek social support for Indonesian seniors in the Netherlands and also in Indonesia. But first of all, we will hear some opening remarks from Amalia van Utomo, the chairman of Stichting Alzheimer Indonesia Nederland, and from His Excellency Mr. Meyervas, the ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia for the Netherlands. Amalia, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. The screen is mine for this kind of webinars, I guess, yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. Welcome to Alzheimer Indonesia Nederland. We have the 34th sessions. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Amalia van Utomo, the chair of Alzheimer Indonesia Netherlands. And here I'm just going to be I'm going to welcome and thank you so much for His Excellency Bapak Meyervas here. Halo Bapak. and also here people from the Indonesian Embassy in the Netherlands, welcome. Thank you for your never-ending support for us. And yeah, and it's really like Tanya mentioned, it's really an honor today because I think this is the first time we have a webinars with interdisciplinary, interculturals, because we have a guest speakers, one from Mexico and from Ethiopia. So I think it's a milestone because it represents the colorful of the immigrants in the Netherlands. And since Indonesia is the fourth biggest in the Netherlands, that's why it's important for now that we are sharing our best practice from other immigrants, the backgrounds, because we want to have a graceful, growing old gracefully here, so wherever we are as a diaspora. And that's why Alzheimer Indonesia here is, our vision and mission is to improve quality of living, people with dementia, and the caregivers, and also the elderly, especially with the Indonesian background here in the Netherlands, especially. But it's not to limit that we are working together with other countries, just like here with the Mexico and also Ethiopia. It's really interesting. And we are also part of the 21st chapters from Alzheimer Indonesia. Here I can see my colleague from Indonesia and also from other overseas. And Alzheimer Indonesia Nederland is part of the twinning program between the Netherlands and the Indonesia. So again, thank you very much again, Bapak Mayarfas here, and also from the Indonesian Embassy from the Republic of Indonesia for the Kingdom of the Netherlands. And thank you for the organizing committee for these webinars. And yeah, I think I just need to say thank you for being here, and hopefully enjoy the sessions. Welcome.
Now I invite Bapak Mayarfas, the ambassador of Republic Indonesia for the Netherlands. Bapak, are you here? Okay.
Yes, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang dari Den Haag. Terima kasih Ibu Tania. Thank you very much for participant, for speaker Alessandra Gonzalez from Mexico. Oh, we have a long distance speaker. We have also Madam Efrem that's fine from Ethiopia, Mr. Yeah. Thank you. Also Pak Manik Haris Mayet Ibu. Maaf. Ibu Manik Haris Mayekti dari from Indonesia. Thank you for provide your time with us this afternoon or this evening in Indonesia. The topic for today is the theory, bringing theory into practice in Indonesian community. Bapak Ibu, ladies and gentlemen, friends, growing old is mandatory, but growing healthy is an option. I always try to maintain a healthy lifestyle every single day, every single time that I could, because I know I'm getting older and older as the day goes. As an Indonesian, especially one that originated from Padang, West Sumatra, I'm blessed with so many savory delicacies that I believe has been known throughout the world. Hence, behind this delicious thread, there are health risks lingering. Along the way on our life, so many things could burden our body unknowingly. That's why we should manage our healthy lifestyle every single day and make this lifestyle contagious for everyone around us. Today, Indonesian Embassy in The Hague and Alzheimer Nederland will share how to influence people around us to practice a healthy lifestyle and support them to grow all healthy. Together with the three speakers that I believe is an expert on this field, we will embark on a journey that hopefully will lead to a better life not only for us who is present today, but also for everyone that we love. On that note, this webinar is timely given the pandemic situation. People, especially older, need moral support and attention on their health, as well as being better than ever to get through this pandemic situation. So, Bapak Ibu, ladies and gentlemen, I hope we have a fruitful discussion, and please enjoy the webinar, and let's get healthy together with the people with love. People we love. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Bapak Mayer Fas, and thank you, Amalia, for the remarks. Do you need, yeah. Okay, so before we start our talk, I would like to invite you all to a refreshing brain gym, as mentioned by Mr. Ambassador, Bapak Mayer Fas, that we should do like more activities that can engage with with our brain. So this is our brain gym live exercise. It's from the risk reduction team from Alzheimer Indonesia in Jakarta, Indonesia. And then after that, we will continue with a group picture, a mandatory event for every Alzinet session. Okay, can we start with the brain gym? Cool. how about that? Like, it's refreshing, right? So I think we can continue with group picture taking. So for all participants that haven't turned on the video camera, I invite you to turn on the camera so we can have like a group, nice group picture together before we start our session. Okay, photographer.
I just want to say hello again from Pai personally for Oma Lalita here. Because if you guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you see there is Novianti Gao and there is Oma Lalita there, that is Oma is people with dementia coming from Jakarta. So she's here. We can say hi to Oma Lalita because she is people with dementia and actively joining the webinar with us. Hi, Oma. I think Oma is with the virtual background is a bit. Okay, let's take pictures. Anybody who wants to have a video on? Yes. Okay, page 1. Oh, there is a moment. There is somebody still going in. Okay, I'm going to start again. Page 1. 1, 2, 3. Oh, somebody is coming in again. Okay, I think I have to take some more pictures because, okay. Page 1 again, sorry. 1, 2, 3. And page 2. Yes, hello, everybody. Yes. 1, 2, 3. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Amalia. Then I think we can continue with our session now. So, okay, I will introduce all speakers. So the first speaker is Alessandra Gonzalez Avila. So she's Mexican and have been living in the Netherlands for almost 3 years now. She finished her studies at a rehabilitation medicine specialist and have a master's degree in vitality and aging by Leiden University. Together with Ephraim and other colleagues, she supported the Teltalk team, and then she also worked at the Technical University of Delft. Here she helps international employees and their partners to have a smooth transition when moving to the Netherlands. Additionally, she does volunteer work for a community garden where she works together with people who are already retired. And the second speaker is Ephraim Tesfaye. Ephraim is a medical doctor originally from Ethiopia, and then he has the master's degree also in vitality and aging. He's the founder of Teltalk, a social aging platform. Currently, he's working as a general practitioner in a COVID-19 screening company called Corona Lab. Our last speaker is from Indonesia. Manikarisma Yekti is a medical doctor and completed her master's degrees in vitality and aging at Leiden University in 2019. Her passion is in health related to social cultural aspect, and she's eager to contribute in raising awareness of the health and well-being of the older people, especially those with an Indonesian background in the Netherlands. And then since 2020, she has volunteered at the Alzheimer Indonesia Nederland Foundation and currently holds a position as the Community and Communication Coordinator. And during the talk, all of you are welcome to participate in the polls. And then if you have any questions, please drop a message in the chat box and I will read it on the Q&A session after the talks. So Alessandra, the time is yours now.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Tanya, for this nice introduction. Thank you for all the audience and the ambassador who are joining today to this nice talk. So before we start with the main topic, which is healthy aging and how to age socially, we would like to know more a bit about our audience by starting a small poll. So in a moment, you will see the poll in your screen, and please take your time to answer the question. And also remember that there are not good or bad answers. This is only to have an overview of what you already know about healthy aging and aging socially. And remember also that all the questions all the answers are anonymous. So please free to answer. And I will guide you through each question. So, uh, yes. I hope that now you are able to see the questions. So I will guide you to the first question. Um, how old are you? This is a very interesting topic because we are talking about aging. So we want to know for today's session, how old are you? So are you less than 18, between 18 and 30, between 30 and 50, or above 50? Please take your time to answer just by clicking in the group page that is for you. Yes, if you have any trouble with seeing the questions, just let us know via the chat or with Tanya or Amalia. Yes, I see that now people is answering some questions. We have
Cannot
more
see
or
the
less
poll.
20. Sorry.
I cannot see the poll, Alessandra.
Oh, I see here that there are already 4 people answering.
Okay.
Yes, 5 people are all already answering. Yes, I can see the group page is filling up. So I will continue with question 2. Question 2 is, how can you reach healthy aging? And this is a multiple choice. This means that you can select different options if that's what you believe. And it's also possible to answer to give another answer. So if you think that there are other aspects of healthy aging that you can do, just please type them in the chat and we will collect these answers from you. Our third question is, how do you perceive the size of your social network? Is it small? Is it an average size, or is it large? Just think about the people that is around you, in your community, in your family, or even in your church or other activities that you do. And the fourth question is, how do you rate the quality of your connection in your social circle? Is it built up with strong ties, weak ties, or is it a mixture of the both? Of both. So also think about the people that is around you and how you connect with them. Our final question is, what activities do you want to do to improve your social aging when you age? This is also a multiple choice question, so you can select different answer if you think you would like to do that in the future. Okay, so at the moment we have 12 people answering. I will give you just a couple of more seconds for everyone to answer, or at least the majority of the group. I'm seeing that we are increasing the number of answers, so thank you very much for that. Okay. Okay. I think I now will stop the poll so we can continue with seeing what are the results. So now you will stop seeing the questions, and I will share with you the results. Okay, I hope you are able to see the results. Otherwise, I will also guide you through them. So for today's session, our main group is composed from the group age 30 to 50, and we have the second age group that is joining today. It's above 50. But it's really nice to see that 18% it's between 18 and 30. So this is very nice. Second question, how can you reach healthy aging? So most of the participants answered that they can reach this by eating healthy and exercising. And other people answer about other. We can discuss this in the Q&A question. Regarding the size of the social network, most of the participants select the average size, and the second one is large. That is very good to hear from you. In our fourth question about the quality of the connection, most of the answers were to the mix. This means between a mixture between the weak ties and the strong ties. No one selected weak ties. That's also very interesting, and we will discuss about this in the coming slides. And finally, our fifth question, what activities would people like to do when aged? And most of the people is selecting doing hobby-related activities, and a second option, volunteering. Okay, this is very nice overview of the people who is joining in today's webinar. So I will now stop sharing the screen. And I will continue now with my own presentation. So just give me a second to share the screen, and then you will be able to see my slides. Okay, great. Okay, so I've been already introduced, my name is Alessandra. I'm originally from Mexico, and my topic for today will be healthy aging. But before we get there, I want you to see these three pictures and think about them. Would you can you say which of these men are following a healthy diet? Who of them is already retired? And who of them have grandchildren? It's a bit difficult to guess by only looking their faces. But it's true that nowadays these faces are more and more common. And this is because people is getting older. Wait a moment. Sorry. Life expectancy has increased since 900s. Life expectancy has doubled. This means that for some countries like Europe, life expectancy was around 39 years and has now reached an average of 79 years. From other regions like Asia, the life expectancy was around 27 years and now has reached 79 years, with some exceptions like Japan, who has reached also 85 years. The reasons behind this are several, such as the reduction of child mortality, the improvements in health, in public health, which led to a reduction of infectious diseases and also better treatments for a lot of chronic diseases, and a better and stable economy for some countries. According to the United Nations, the population will triple, the old population will triple by 2050. Let's take a look now in my homeland. I want you to take a look now to this picture. In Mexico, life expectancy has also increased. It was before around 39 years, and now it has increased to 75 years. If we look to another aspect in the society in Mexico, we see that family is a strong element. This means that older people and retired people will go back to their children and live together. They will have a place in the new family, and they will be part of the decisions that are taken there. So this show us a different aspect of aging, as the social role, the sense of belonging, and also gratitude. I want you also to show you another special place in the world, which is the blue zones. These are places where people consistently live more than 100 years. And in the image, you can see several of these places. Some of them are Japan, Greece, Italy, Costa Rica, and California. A lot of research has been done in these areas to know why and how these people are living longer and happier. Research shows that there are 4 key elements for this, and these are that people move naturally, they have an ideal every day, so they have a goal that keeps them moving. They have a good diet based on local products, they have a small group of friends, and they contribute to their own community. So it seems that we have found what we've been looking for, a simple way to get older and happier. But we need to look to another aspect of aging. Did you know that there is not a single same person and we all age in a different way. So the same thing cannot apply for everyone because there is not a typical old person. And the reasons behind this is because our own genes, because our cultural background, our diet, and our environment. Additionally, while aging, the survival rate from for some diseases like a stroke, cancer, and heart attack is higher. This means that people are living longer but with disability. The years living with disability has increased the health costs around the world. Additionally, living with disability decreases the quality of life and the sense of well-being. Another obstacle when you age is the stereotypes around this. The most common one is called ageism, which is a negative way to see an old person, resulting on people being vulnerable, being seen as a weak person, and also losing their sense of life or losing their purpose in life. This is a narrative that is very embedded in our culture, and we need to change that. Finally, our world is changing rapidly, and with this, I'm referring to technology. In our daily lives, we are using more and more internet, smart devices, and also artificial intelligence. For some old seniors, this is not easy to adapt. They end up with feelings of frustrations and feeling being left out. So what can we do about this? And some health organizations like the WHO had come up with ideas to improve the way we get older. So I want to show you the definition of healthy aging by the World Health Organization. This is the process of developing and maintaining the functional ability that enables well-being in old persons. I will now describe it in a bit of more detail. So this is a process. This is not something that you reach once you are 80, once you are retired. This is a process that starts in your early years, in your younger years. And through those years, you will build up and maintain this functional ability. But what is functional ability? Well, it's the ability for you to cover your basic needs, such as your housing, your food, your medicines if you need so. It's the ability to learn something, to grow and develop yourself, take your own decisions, stay active, build strong relationships, and of course, contribute to your community. All together would lead to a feeling of well-being and a better quality on life while you age. Let's see what other research shows. So this author, this Nostrati in 2015, had already shared what are the components of healthy aging. For him, a balanced and harmonious life is one of the key elements. And this refers to the fact that you should have a balance between your work life, between your personal life, and between your family life. You need to stay independent in the mobility, yes, but as well in your financial aspect and also in taking your own decisions, what is good for you. Life circumstances goes together with the psychological part. It's the way you react to different aspects, different events, such as having a new job, starting a new family, moving to a new house, but also how you react to the hard situations, such as losing a loved one or having a disease. Physical and cognitive health go together in the way you react and how you choose the good options for yourself. This is called positive health behaviors. You choose what is good for your own body and for your mind. Finally, being social. And that's the big question as well. What is being social? We will find a bit more in our following presentation. So, how can we all age healthy? There are several aspects I want to share with you. The first one is create a new aging narrative. This means forget about all these ideas, negative ideas that becoming old is bad, that becoming old will you will be still in one corner and not doing anything. We need to change that because becoming old gives you a lot of strength, gives you a lot of knowledge, and aging is a very exciting phase in life. We need to stay physically and mentally active by doing simple things like just gardening, going for a walk with a friend, having a good diet, and also being challenged every day with a new goal. Be resilient in your life. Learn how to react to the situations that are a bit unpleasant for us, how to react to some difficult situations and adapt. And finally, being socially engaged with your community. Again, this is one of the most important questions in our topic. What is aging socially? A friend will help us with this in the coming slides. So, to wrap up, we are getting old and we are expected to get older than our own parents. We need to take a look to all the aspects of aging, including those like ageism, and change them. Healthy aging is for everyone and is a process which you can start right now. And finally, 3 main tips is stay positive, keep your mind and your body active, and build strong and social bonds. Thank you. I will stop now my presentation. And if you have some questions, just put them in the chat and I will now give the time to a friend.
FM, you're still on mute.
Sorry. Thank you, Alessandra, for your nice presentation and for giving me the flow. Good afternoon, everyone, and Your Excellency. Let me share my slides first. Yeah, I would like to thank Alzinet for this interesting opportunity to talk about a topic of my particular interest, social aging and social health. As my colleague and my friend Alessandra mentioned it is something often overlooked in the healthcare industry, but is a core element of getting a core element of healthy aging and health in general. In the coming 15 minutes, I will try to explain the theoretical backgrounds of especially the social perspective of aging, and I will introduce the term social pain. Maybe some of you are familiar with this term, but it's not a common medical. It's not common in the medical world, and try to see what it means to age socially and what is social health in healthy aging. And if we have time, I will tell you a little bit about our project Teltalk that we are trying to develop for older migrants living in the Netherlands. Yeah, to start with, yeah, of course, there are several theories trying to give a scientific ground for this change in social role with age. But I chose 2 particular theories that are interesting to discuss in this kind of situation. As you can see, one is the disengagement theory. From the picture, people, you can see that the person being isolated, disengaged, and lonely. And the other is the activity theory, as you can see from the dancing couples. I would like to ask you to think about which theory could be common in your society, in your community, and then maybe we'll discuss it later in the discussion time. The disengagement theory, one of the earliest theory of aging from a social point of view, proposes that as we grow older, it's normal and natural to withdraw from previous activities. It hypothesized that disengagement of elderly promotes the transfer of power from elderly to the younger generation and maintain balance and order in the society. Of course, it has been criticized by many scholars and in fact discounted at times, but it's also a common and in fact it lies in the core of some dominant cultural narratives in some societies that marginalize elderly as if they can contribute less. And it has an implication on the way we build our intervention for social problems related to aging. The other theory is the exact opposite of disengagement theory. The activity theory argues that elderly people have similar social and psychological needs as their middle-aged counterparts. And it's based on the assumption that activity is always better than inactivity. Of course, the value of this theory consider the value of human being as what they know and what they do to the society instead of for simply who they are. And it has some limitations because it's focused on the quantity of social role and the volume of involvement instead of the meaning and the benefits attached to our social interaction. So I would just invite you to think which one really applies in your community. These theories that I just discussed earlier have their own implications, like I said, in the treating our problems that we face in the society. One of these problems is social pain. Actually, I have like 6 years of clinical experience, but it never occurred to me that social pain could be real, or I never thought there is such thing called social pain until I came across with a book called Social, written by Professor Lieberman. He's a neurophysiologist and an expert in social cognition. Professor Lieberman argues that our desire and our need to connect is far more fundamental than our need for food and shelter. And he further argues that we are social species wired to connect, and our meaning and purpose in life is deeply embedded in the society we call our own. When this connection is threatened or severed, we experience the unpleasant feeling. That unpleasant feeling, he calls it social pain. Some scholars argue that our brain indeed treats social pain the same way it treats physical pain. That is to say, broken heart and broken leg might have physiological underpinning that is more common than we think. But the way we respond to a broken heart and a broken leg is completely different. You can't say a person with a broken leg, get over it, but we can say that for people with broken hearts, right? So I want you to think about how we respond to this kind of situation in our community, in our day-to-day life. Well, social pain, as I explained before, we can suffer, anyone can suffer from social pain. It can range from a mere dispute in the workplace to a loss of someone dear to us or the intimate person. the major causes are actually loneliness and social isolation. Loneliness, even some researchers call it the pain equivalent of the social equivalent of physical pain, which is literally to say a chronic form of social pain. We have this emotional loneliness, which results from loss of intimate friends or life partner, and the social loneliness, which results from damage of our relation in the society, in the community. Just focus on the major cause of social pain, which is loneliness. Up to 40% of people older than 65 suffer from loneliness. It's not that it is quite common in the elderly community. Not something that we can overlook. Social pain, loneliness could actually originate from different factors, individual or societal factors. The most common one being the loss of social contact and the loss of intimate friends and family members. But also physical decline during aging could contribute to our loneliness, because we tend to isolate and remain in the house. That could lead to loneliness, the feeling associated with loneliness. And the mental decline could also cause that. And psychological problems that result in impaired social behavior could also contribute to loneliness. And on the other hand, loneliness is also attributed to cause many physical and mental impairments. Studies have shown that people with loneliness have higher risk of cardiometabolic disorder and higher risk of mental cognitive decline and elevated risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. And there are also studies shown that lonely people have lower self-regulation and tend to be resistant to positive health behavior, like my colleague Alessandra explained, physical exercise, the diet, and other things. On the contrary, people who are actively engaged in the society have shown to be perform well cognitive-wise and have a better physical health and lower mortality from on-cause mortality indeed. And they tend to be compliant with positive health behavior. Knowing all these connections with the loneliness and the physical health, it reminds me of a proverb from Africa. It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Now that we know loneliness could cause all these physical complications and mental complications, that the secret to live a long life is actually to go together. And I assume most of us would like to go as far as this life takes us. And this is something that we need to consider in our daily life, and even in the interventions that we should design and develop. Well, let me take you to my country. I'm from Ethiopia, an East African country with a very long history and ancient civilization. Ethiopia is actually the birthplace of coffee beans. I don't know if you know about that, but coffee is originally from Ethiopia. And coffee ceremony, as you can see from the picture, this is how we serve coffee. Coffee ceremony is considered as a social glue that brings people together. And in Ethiopia, especially elderly and women come together and drink coffee every single day. That's where the success of social life lies. It's on its continuity. Every single day, they come together, they share their stories, they share their experience, and they share their concerns, and they solve their social disputes in the coffee ceremony. I think it's something that we should expand. I personally believe, of course, it needs more studies and more perspectives, but I personally believe this is something I would like to share. As you can see, Barack Obama is also enjoying our coffee, So I also recommend you to try it. Yeah, here in the Netherlands, there are institutionalized interventions actually to prevent loneliness and to reduce loneliness. Some fails, some also some have success stories. To share you a little bit of the failures, they are actually the main cause of failure is from missing the root cause of loneliness, and because of the temporary nature of the interventions being conducted. From the success stories, I read that in 2004 there was this project called Morning Coffee Corner, just like the Ethiopians, but in a different way. People in residential areas of elderly people. So people, older people come together, play games, and then the success lies on the continuity, on the embedment of this activity in the day-to-day life. That is more important than a friendly visit for a day or so. And the other is a project called Escape, which provides computer skills for disabled people, mostly elderly, confined at home. So this project gave the opportunity for elderly to communicate with the volunteers giving the training, and also with the gained computer skill, they were able to contact with their families and friends. So this is also a continuing intervention. So like I said earlier, I will repeat it again, the continuity matters when it comes to intervening loneliness. The other important thing is the prevention. This is my personal account. I will, because I see most often social health being treated as a means for the other elements of health, like the physical or mental. But like Professor Lieberman argues, we are social animals or species per se. We are wired to connect. Social health has to be treated as an end. It has to be targeted as a primary goal of healthy aging. And that is what we need to do to prevent loneliness. And that's also my own perspective, not a study or something. Well, the next, I would like to tell you a little bit about Teltalk if I have time. You can stop me if I'm already late. But Teltalk is actually a social platform. We are developing it with Alessandra and Shasvin and Manik. We are all from we have all different background. That also makes it more interesting. Teltalk aims to be a platform where older migrants come together and create a diverse social network where they feel recognized and they feel connected. And then we move to the next step, which is volunteering. That means once they feel connected, once they feel recognized, and they will have a lot of experience to share in the volunteering platform. So Teltalk wants first to do events like our diversity, which is to say the diversity of older people, and then take it to the next step, which is volunteering and even coaching sessions and exercise groups. Then we will link older people, especially migrants, to this. And the other is, hopefully we will succeed, is Teltalk Cafe. In the far future, we plan to establish a cafe where elderly from every corner of the world come and enjoy beverages of different traditions, different cultures. And at the same time, we will install PlayStation where cultural games representing Indonesia or Iran, Iraq, all kinds of culture. So then people will have the experience, we believe that people are curious to know about others. So if we give the opportunity and give the world do that. Our mission is, as you can see, to create a platform for older migrants to be recognized. And our vision is to establish a diverse community of healthy aging based on solidarity, diversity, and tolerance. Thank you. Back to you, Tanya.
Thank you, Alessandra and Ephraim. So the last talk will be presented by Manik Karismayekti from Indonesia. Again, I would like to invite you to participate in the interactive session by answering the questions in the chat box. Or if you have any questions, please do drop it in the chat box, and then we will discuss this after the session. Then, okay, the time is yours, Manik.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Tanya, for the introduction, and thank you, Ephraim and Alessandra, for the nice presentation. I will continue with my presentation. Yes, as Alessandra said, that the aging process starts from birth. Thus, actually, we must prepare our future. Everybody is getting older when we are still young, right? But it is never too late to take an action from this moment to improve our well-being. That's why in these 10 minutes, we will learn together to look at our situation and to think about what can we do to improve our social aging? What can we do to improve our parents' social aging? Ephraim said about social support is very important for not only for the physical health being, but also for the mental health being. And in order to give and to receive a social support, we need to build a relationship with other people. We need to be actively involved in society. I was very happy when I saw the result of the poll. I make notes here, especially the result of the 5th questions in the polling that stated the participant want to be actively involved in social activities. 71% participant want to do hobby-related activities when they are age. And there are 35% people say that I will continue with volunteering. It's really nice, right? And 12% will have a second career when they are age. It is a very interesting, and there is also 12% people say other, and I will really want to know what do you think about this? Maybe the 12% of the participant can write in the chat box, what do you mean with others? What do you want to do when you are age to be actively engaged in the society? Yeah, it was really nice to see the result of the polling. I will continue with my presentation. When we are getting older, many questions may arise. For example, what is the right activity? What is the right support for me, for myself? And how can I know the appropriate social support for my parents or for someone's needs? And where can the family or the caregiver find the right support for their parents? We will talk about that. First, we will talk about the social support, the form of a social support. Whereas in 2013, mentioned at least 3 kinds of social support: emotional, instrumental, and also information. Elderly people sometimes need someone just to talk, to listen. This is a kind of emotional support. But they also need the help, for example, to go somewhere. Due to the physical limitation, it is difficult for them to go groceries, for example. They need transportation support, transportation assistance. It is a example of the instrumental support. But the elderly people may also need information about how to operate the mobile phone, for example. How can I join the Zoom? How can I join the webinar? And they may also need right information to avoid hoaxes. There are a lot of hoaxes in the social media. These are examples of information support. And to choose the right support that suits for someone, we have to look at the person as a whole package. First, we need to know what the need is. But not only that, we also need to consider this person's background. We need to consider this person's belief, his hobbies, his favorite music, for example, and also his relationship with his families, for example. And after we know what kind of support this person needs, the second question appears. Then where we can find this kind of social support? As in Mexico, the family is the main source of social support for the Indonesian community, for the Indonesian people. And most of the elderly caregiver in Indonesia are their own children. This intergenerational relationship is important in Indonesia, and it has a great value. So for us, the participant of the webinar of today's, I think it is now the right time to not hesitate to get to know your parents or your grandparents more deeply. Ask them about their hobby, ask them about the music preference, for example, and do the hobby together or listen the music together. So you have a quality moments with them. And other sources of social support are friends, neighbors, social organization, and also healthcare organization, but also government. And now we will look at the social support for Indonesian senior in the Netherlands and also in Indonesia. In the Netherlands, almost all Indonesians in the Netherlands have a Facebook account. And from the Facebook, we can discover that there are many Indonesian communities in the Netherlands. For example, there is Alzheimer Indonesia Nederland. There is also Group Indonesia di Belanda, Indonesian Living in Netherlands Facebook account, and then Indonesian churches in the Netherlands, Hibiscus Foundation, Cultural Foundation, Angklung Group, etc. These groups may provide emotional and information support for people with Indonesian background in the Netherlands. The Indonesian Embassy in the Netherlands also provides social support to Indonesians in the Netherlands. The Indonesian Embassy is a place where the Indonesian community can feel at home in a foreign country. There in the Indonesian Embassy, we can also ask for and also receive support in our native language. But there are also a lot of social support and also a lot of activities for all residents from different backgrounds that are accessible also for the Indonesian community. For example, Talk, Ephraim has mentioned about this, a social platform for all the migrants. And there is also community center in almost every neighborhood in the Netherlands, football club, tennis club for veterans, etc. And seniors in the Netherlands can also get social support from care organization, such as nursing homes or elderly residents. Many activities are offered for the elderly in the neighborhood. The older people also can receive social support for the government. For example, if they need a wheelchair or need a device to help to better listen. So for example, this one, for example, people can also ask support from the municipality through the WMO. This is the condition in the Netherlands, but how is the condition in the Indonesia? Where can we find the social support in the Indonesia? As I mentioned earlier, family plays an important role in providing social support for the older people. In Indonesia, we know Posyandu Lansia. It is actually a national program, but hosted by RT or RW. This is a district in Indonesia. In addition, there is also a family-based program called BKL, Bina Keluarga Lansia. Have you heard about this program? It is a program initiated by BKKBN, or National Division of Demography and Family Planning, that aims to improve the family's knowledge and practice in order to provide a productive, active, and healthy environment for their older members. And it has been implemented in different areas in Yogyakarta, in Medan, and I think in many other cities. And I think it is a good collaborative program in Indonesia between government and also family. As a social and care organization, Alzheimer Indonesia, or ALSI, also offers emotional and information support for people, for older people, for the people with dementia, and also caregiver. A week ago, there was also a good cooperation between Alzheimer Indonesia Nederland, Alzheimer Indonesia in Bali, and elderly care organization in Bali to provide social support for the older people in that area. And also there is also collaboration activity from Alzheimer Indonesia and in Lombok with the municipality to support in a program elderly empowerment. It's a nice collaboration. So if we look at these examples, I think there are many activities, there are many programs in our society that can be used to increase our social contact, to improve our social aging. If we actively seek, I think that we will find social support that suits our needs. I will close my presentation with this slide. So, choose activities which the elderly can be actively involved, where they can enjoy the activities, feel safe, and above all, they are appreciated and respected. So good luck in preparing your healthy aging and helping other people to have a better aging process. Thank you. Back to you, Amalia.
Thank you, speakers. Now, this is the most interesting part of all the sessions, the Q&A sessions. I would like to invite all speakers here, the three of you, because the speakers now also want to ask questions to our participants. Then after that, I will read all the questions that already mentioned or listed in the chat box. Okay, speakers, who wants to ask question first? Ephraim, perhaps?
Yeah, well, it's not particularly a question, but it was, I already put it in the toll because it's important to know the quality and the composition of your network, your social network. So somebody fortunately asked the question that I wanted to ask. So maybe can I be allowed to explain that, or should I come back to it later?
I think, yeah, you can come back with it later. I will ask Alessandra or Manik first, whether
Yeah.
you have also questions or like, yeah, start a discussion perhaps.
Yeah.
Alessandra, do you have any particular question before I read all the question mentioned here?
Not really, but I also want to mention that I was very happy with the results of the polling at the beginning. It seems that the people gathered today has more information about health and more information about what is to do with dementia. And this is because of these great webinars that you have been providing for these people. So I really like the overview at the beginning.
If I may ask, I now, just thinking out loud, I wanted to ask one particular question, and I want, if any interesting audience to answer, have you ever heard from your doctors about social pain, or have you ever been recommended as a part of staying healthy? Have you ever been recommended to be socially active? That's my question.
Is there anybody who wants to ask directly? Ifem, that's actually my questions to you. Like I really like wondering, like I'm really like intrigued by when you mentioned about social pain. Oh my God, I said it's like, yeah, but perhaps I will let other participants first if they want to answer whether you have any experience that the doctor, if you come to the doctor or you bring your parents or your grandpa or your grandparents to the doctor, and then the doctor specifically mention about social pains. Okay. Is there anybody who wants to ask? Okay, so okay, so here Noviandiko, okay. Okay, so I think yeah, I think I will try to answer from my experience that actually no. The answer is no. And then about social pain, yeah, what I wrote before, and I will just read my question or my comments on this, like because it's really yeah, intriguing. This because you mentioned that the desire to connect are greater actually compared to need of food. It's like our basic necessities, right? But like I was thinking about, so do you think countries that are more communal, in the countries that are more communal, there will be less social pain in the elderly compared to those who live in the country where it's more individualistic? Because I think like in Indonesia, we are so communal, we like together, and like we have like so many occasions, not only in Indonesia. So also for Indonesian who lives abroad, they still have like we are happy to meet for with each other for any occasion, arisan or just yeah, makan. So it's like yeah, it's like we love to do that. And also I think in Africa, but I think it's also different like in the European country or in the in America, for example, that they are more individualistic. So what's your comment about it?
That's actually one of the paradox with loneliness. The broader social network you have, and once you feel distant from that social network, you feel more lonely than in the society with individualized life. So the studies from the European areas show that, for example, the Western and the Northern Europe are more individualistic than the South and the Eastern Europe. So it's what you see, loneliness is more prevalent in the Eastern and the Southern Europe than the Western Europe, because people in the Western Europe live an individualistic life. So they feel less lonely. It's not that they are not socially isolated, but they feel less lonely. So that's my impression, and I think it's also common in Africa, because we think that living intergenerational life could alleviate loneliness, but that's not the case. People can feel lonely while they are still surrounded by their own network. And elderly people are usually, we don't give them enough emphasis and enough attention while they are still at home. So I think there are studies even in Africa showing that elderly people feel lonely.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so if no, then I will just start to read all the comments here in the chat box. There's some comments and so some questions. So first is from Daisy, and then is it possible to share the PowerPoint as well after the webinar? Yeah, I can ask all the speakers. I think they won't mind. So yeah, please drop your email here, then, or you can email the Project Alzi email, then we can send it to you. And then for Milton, Talk sounds a promising and interesting project. Indeed, right? Here, the founder of Talk here, perhaps, yeah, you can say more later, and we can collaborate later with Talk then, with Alzinet. Okay, and I want to invite Wasi from Swiss. So,
no, I'm sorry. I already written my
yes.
question below.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, I will just read it for you then. Okay. Thank you for the informative and useful presentation to all speakers. My question refers to the presentation of Alessandra, but about the healthy aging components, where there are a few components included. Is there a component that would have a bigger impact in healthy aging? Alessandra.
Yes. So I mentioned briefly during the presentation what the Health World Organization and the World Health Organization and one research study shows about the components of healthy aging. There are several of them that were mentioned, and actually there was a bit of overlap between the two authors. What it's important is that we take action in those that we can modify. For example, our diet, our level of activity during our day, and also, as we have mentioned, emphasize the quality and the frequency of our social contacts. These are the three elements that would have more weight, because there are other elements that I did not describe in more detail. For example, our genes cannot be modified. We are already born with those. We can influence a bit through our diet, the environment, our healthy behaviors, but genes are already there and cannot be modified. But we can focus our attention in those things that we can take action and that we can modify in order to help to have a healthy aging process.
Yeah, thank you. If I can just comment a little bit, if you don't mind, because I'm just looking at the components. And for example, when you say in the independence components, it also involves the financial. So I would think maybe in the developing countries, or at least the least developed countries, that would probably have a greater impact. But then if I'm referring to your blue zones map as well, you have Costa Rica, which is a developing country, though it goes into the blue zones map. So that's why I was thinking. So in fact it's a combination. If I don't misunderstand that, those components that is in your healthy aging component circle that you drew, that would be. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have put on my video. That should be more the way we should think. So it's not like all the components make into one, healthy aging. But there are several aspects that maybe can impact more than the others in different countries. Thank you.
Yes. That's very nice that you mentioned that. Actually, one thing that it's an obstacle, but at the same way, is the way people react in a positive way, is the inequity that there is in some countries, like in developed countries and the countries that are like poor countries. And I can speak also from Mexico, where we have very rich regions in the main cities, and where people can experience more access to health and medical access and have more opportunities. But we have also some areas where they don't have this access or these resources. And it's very nice that you mentioned the difference between Costa Rica and, for example, Italy, which is a developing and European country, and Costa Rica, which is becoming stronger. And actually, what happens here is that people are resilient. They adapt on what they have in their own environment. So as I mentioned, that people eat what they have in their local diet instead of trying to have like a very expensive diet or very expensive products. They rely in their own community and they rely in their own products in order to succeed. And they don't see themselves as a poor country or as a country that needs to be better like another one. They see all the qualities that their own culture has and get stronger from this part. So it's very nice that you mentioned this, Washington. Thank you.
Thank
for
you
your
very
time.
much, Alessandra.
Okay, thank you, Asi, and thank you, Alessandra. So, FM, one participant here, Eva, under the name Finn and Co, answer your question before. And then she said that I know social pain as social isolation from my psychology studies. Never heard a doctor anything of that kind. So yeah, I think it's still overlooked about the social pain, even for doctors, right? Okay, so also from Eva, so she has a comment here. So great presentations, everyone. My question, following from the polls, is it more important to have many social contacts but with weak ties, or only a couple with strong ties? What is the opinion of all three speakers? Okay, who wants to start here?
Can I start this one?
Yes.
Because it's actually it's my question, and well, I brought this up because most interventions focus on the quantity of social activity and on the volume of involvement, like I explained earlier. But the composition and the quality of our social network is also important in getting in not feeling lonely. So what is important, the size is indeed important, but it has been shown in studies that people with only stronger social ties have higher risk of being lonely. Because it's obvious, as you lose that contact, there is a higher chance that you feel the unpleasant experience. But if you have a mixed social contact, the weak and strong tie, that is that you are a little bit of protected from feeling lonely. That's what the studies say.
Okay, thank you. So
I hope I answered your question, and if you have more to say, Finn, you can. I will invite you.
Okay, Eva, if you have more comments or more questions for Ephraim, I think you can type it again in the chat box. But meanwhile, we want to hear the opinions from other speakers. Okay, next, Alessandra, perhaps?
Yes. So, well, Ephraim and I and Malik, we share like a same education in a sense. But it's true that you have to be open to have different type of bonds, different type of ties. And this can reflect in our situation. And I refer to the three speakers that we moved from our country to a new country and create new relationships. We still have our bonding with our family members, with our friends in our home country, but we are creating new bonds here in the Netherlands. And the intensity where how we reach these people differs a lot because of the cultural background, but also because of the now with the COVID, everything is different. But I think what is important, and I go back what Ephraim said, is that we need to be open to have strong and weak ties, because a weak tie can become our strong tie, and a strong tie, if we lose it, no one can replace it. So we need to be open for that option. Manik?
Yeah, a similar perspective from me. So we need to open and we need to try to integrate when we where we are living now. So what Alessandra said, I was grow up in Indonesia. I have a very strong ties with my parents, and I moved to the Netherlands, and it's very difficult to live here, but I open with other opportunities to have a contact with other people, make a what I can say. My network now is growing because I try to make a connect with other people, and it will be my strong ties. I think that is my opinion, Tania.
Okay, thank you. Interesting answers. Yes, I think because we are limited in time, I will just read the next question. So it's like from DY Soharia. And then thank you for sharing all of your brilliant presentations, questions for all speakers. Is there a one-size-fits-all social aging platform, or it's always have to be culturally adapted? What are the things that all of you have in common in terms of the principles to create an environment to support people to age gracefully and healthily? Okay, perhaps just quick answer. Ephraim, do you want to start again? You're already unmuted.
Yeah, Teletalk was inspired by our master's program, Vitality and Aging. So it means that we all have a common educational background. We are experts of aging. And the other thing that we share is that we all came from different countries. We have all a migrant background. That actually make us associate with the pain that migrants feel. We kind of feel it too, and we know how difficult it is to adapt and to successfully integrate in this country. And I think that's something that inspire our team to work on Teletalk. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any addition? Alessandra, perhaps?
No, I share the same comment with Ephraim. The only addition would be about if there is one size fits all intervention for healthy aging, and the answer will be no, because as I mentioned, everyone is different, everyone is unique. So there are several items that will fit for everyone, but everyone will perceive and will prioritize each element differently. And in order to this to work, you also need to be aware which element you need to work on. For example, maybe it's just joining to a volunteering activity, and that is what will bring you, will be a starting point for you to develop the other healthy aging areas, because you will be staying active, you will be socializing, then with new group of people, you will establish new healthy and positive behaviors. So there is not like a recipe for everyone. You need also to be aware which are the elements and which fits you and which fits your own community as well, because the community in Mexico differs in a lot of things with the community in Indonesia and the community here in the Netherlands. So this is a very interesting question, and until now there's no research that shows that there's one size fit all intervention. We need to create intervention based on the community.
Okay. Manik, just a quick web summary, or you have any?
Yeah, maybe as a small example. Here in Netherlands, there is a nursing homes, right? People in the nursing home, the elderly people who live in the nursing home has the same treatment or the same approach for their health. But there is also here in Netherlands a culturally specific. So when you are in a nursing home and you are, for example, I living in a nursing home, I have an Indonesian background. There is a culturally specific something that maybe how to respect this person, how to call this person. So they give the same treatment. They give the same what is that? They give the same treatment, but for example, they call me Ibu, and they say Selamat pagi, but they give the same with the same treatment with me and the other residents. So it's called culturally specific. It's not fits for all, one size fits all, but we need a specific for each person. I think that is the addition. Thank you, Tanya.
Okay, then, interesting. So I hope it answered your question, Levi. So okay, so that is like the last question. There's no more unanswered questions. So from Daisy already asked directly from Alessandra, and then I will just read like a quick recap about the comments. So Eva says thank you for thanks for the answer. Super interesting and somewhat unexpected. And then, so from Novianti, go how to make dementia people enjoy webinar in Zoom. I think we need to make another session, Novianti. So perhaps this is the idea for our next session, because I think yeah, we need more time to answer this. It's an interesting question as well. And then from Ino Runtu in the Netherlands, senior citizens housing organize activities in-house for the residents. So I think it's also interesting to hear. And then yeah, and then also mentioned by Manik, perhaps with in this housing for them, like specific senior citizen housing, they have like different approach for people with different cultural background, I guess. Okay, and then for Milton, from my experience, I think currently with the pandemic situation, it is important to focus on the information support, especially educating seniors how to work with social platforms like WhatsApp, FaceTime, etc., to have the social contact with others. Okay, so perhaps this is like a good idea for our next upcoming session. Okay, yeah, and then he impressed using the poll in the Zoom meeting, so it's a good. And then yeah, and then yeah, participants also participate in the pollings, so in the polls. So thank you, all of you. And then yes, so I will wrap this up. And then the comment from DY Suharya. Thank you for all of your answer, Ephraim, Alessandra, and Manik. Makes perfect sense. Huge appreciation to the committee as well in facilitating the sessions, and for Mr. Meyerfas and the entire team of KBRI Den Haag, never-ending support to all of us. Okay, and then from the Executive Director of Alzheimer Indonesia, Michael Dick, Timur. Hi, Mike. And then also make a comment. Thank you for all of your amazing presentation and answers, Alessandra, Ephraim, and Manik. Thank you for the support from KBRI Den Haag, Mr. Mayafas and Mr. Ferry, also for the great webinar session, Alzinet, led by Amalia and me as a host. Stay safe all. Okay, so because the time is very limited, we already passed 6 minutes from the plan. So on behalf of Alzinet and the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia for the Netherlands, I would like to thank all speakers for the insightful talks. I hope that this session has given us all a better understanding of healthy aging and the importance of social engagement in healthy aging. A big thank you to all participants today for the questions, for the answers. And then if you have further unanswered questions or you pop up with other questions, the speaker's email are listed in the chat box. You can scroll up. And then lastly, please save the date for our upcoming event. So here it's present. We have like upcoming event next month in April. So hope to see you all again. Stay healthy, stay happy, and do not underestimate memory loss. Okay, bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you very much. You can unmute yourself to say
Bye,
bye.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you,
bye. Stay
everybody.
healthy.
Siapa bilang pikun itu biasa saja? Siapa bilang pikun itu tak berbahaya? Jangan malu dengan pikun, jangan malu dengan pikun. Hati-hatilah, bila sudah mulai lupa, bingung tidak fokus, marah-marah curiga yang berlebihan. Pikun jangan, jangan pikun, pikun jangan, jangan malu pikun, pikun jangan, jangan pikun, pikun jangan, jangan malu dengan pikun. Siapa bilang pikun itu biasa saja? Siapa bilang pikun itu tak berbahaya? Jangan malu dengan pikun, jangan malu dengan pikun. Hati-hatilah, bila sudah mulai lupa, bingung tidak fokus, marah-marah curiga yang berlebihan. Pikun jangan, jangan pikun, pikun jangan, jangan malu pikun, pikun jangan, jangan pikun, pikun jangan, jangan malu dengan pikun. Makanya jangan galau, makanya jangan sedih, makanya mulai dari sekarang sadari dan kenali tanda-tandanya. Waspadalah, waspadalah, waspada, 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 waspadalah. Pikun jangan, jangan pikun, pikun jangan, jangan malu pikun, pikun jangan, jangan pikun, pikun jangan, jangan malu pikun, pikun jangan, jangan pikun, pikun jangan, jangan malu pikun, pikun jangan, jangan pikun, pikun jangan, jangan malu dengan pikun. Siapa bilang pikun itu biasa saja? Siapa bilang pikun itu tak berbahaya? Jangan malu dengan pikun, jangan malu dengan pikun. Hati-hatilah, bila sudah mulai lupa, bingung tidak fokus, marah-marah